The hero never actually walks alone. And that's so helpful to tap into, because if you feel like you're doing something bold, like heading into unchartered territory or facing an unfathomable challenge, as we so often feel when we are human. And because the hero archetype has gone there before and succeeded, not without trials and tribulations, but we'll get to that part soon. It's so helpful to tap into this hero, because I feel then we're not walking alone. So, as you can hear, I'm back with another episode about archetypes and storytelling, because there's just so much material here that's so useful to us, both in storytelling, creating content, and life. And today we're talking about the hero, because, of course, the hero in the hero's journey is the first and ultimate archetype. And she can be a woman too. Hi, I'm Eva-Lotta, and I'm a photographer and filmmaker, and I also created and run the Real Storyteller Lab. That's where one of the things we do to begin with is to tap into the hero's journey, but not necessarily in the way you might think. Myself, I don't necessarily identify with the hero as a personality archetype, but this path is super helpful as a driver to reaching goals. And in the Storyteller Lab, we look at the client as our hero and ourselves as the guide. So, in this episode, I'll be talking about various shapes or stages of the hero or the hero's journey, and how he or she can help us stay the course. And to my aid again, if you've been watching some of these other episodes, I have some favorite books, and some of them classics. Here's Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And because we're talking about storytelling, we're going to start around the fire, where it all began. And this is The Warrior of Light. It's by Paulo Coelho, a favorite author, who I'm revisiting now. And this is The Warrior of Light, which is he's calling it a companion to The Alchemist. And which is very much about that beaten by millennia hero's journey path. And I wanted us to start here by the fire. The warrior of the light sits around the fire with his companions. They talk about his conquests, and any strangers who join the group are made welcome, because everyone is proud of his life and of his good fight. The warrior speaks enthusiastically about the path, about how he resisted a particular challenge or the solution he found to one especially difficult situation. When he tells stories, he invests his words with passion and romance. Sometimes he exaggerates a little. He remembers that at times his ancestors used to exaggerate too. The Warrior of the Light, Paulo Coelho. Okay, so let's remind ourselves a little bit about the hero's journey. In the Storyteller Lab, we work with the Cliff Notes, a very abridged version, and it goes something like this. You know, the hero, he or she, has a problem, faces some obstacles, internally or externally, and therefore feels the call to adventure, and meaning he needs to find a way to solve this issue or resist it. But if he resists the call to adventure, or resists fixing this problem, that might lead to other problems in his life, or maybe a whole society collapsing or whatever the story might be. So eventually he trots on the journey and he faces all of these trials and tribulations, and but he does solve the issue, and he comes back transformed or with a magical solution. Oftentimes the journey described can be like a rites of passage in someone's life, and a young woman becoming a mother, for example. Joseph Campbell reminds us in The Power of Myth, another favorite book. And some of the phases of the hero's journey in his life and the rites of passages are described in The Hero of the Thousand Faces, where we get a lot of this wisdom and magic. And I have made myself a list here from this book of some of these stages. And first, the hero was born, and that's usually, if you go back and read the classics, it's usually some extraordinary way this child is being born. Jesus and other creatures springing out of people's heads and things like this. And then we have the hero as the warrior. I think that's often someone I think about. And then we have the hero as the lover. And there are many tales about that in Hollywood movies. And resisting love, but then eventually succumbing to it, and being happier for it. And then we have the hero as the emperor or tyrant, because of course all of these phases or archetypes have a shadow self that's not as appealing. And then we have the hero as the world redeemer, the saint, and then it ends with the hero's life ends with his departure from this world. But before he leaves us, let's learn some great wisdom from this hero archetype. I call this Habits for a Winning Mindset by the hero archetype. So he is very courageous. So he either faces his dragons or fears or pretends they don't exist, because do they really? 2, he's willing to transform if it means reaching his goals. In fact, it is required. In today's terms, that means shifting, changing, and growing as a person to reach our goals or athletic triumphs. The hero keeps going like the Energizer Bunny, because what's the alternative if you want to reach your goal? Success is inevitable, as one of my business mentor kind of harps on, and I haven't really understood it until a few days ago. I think it has really sunk in. And what does that mean? Well, the hero keeps going one step at a time, because, as the classics said, Rome wasn't built in a day. 4, he really enjoys today and the ride because we only have today, right? We don't know if we're going to reach our destination, but we might as well enjoy the ride. And 5, the hero realizes that he is part of a bigger whole. He doesn't do this only for himself, or he doesn't do it for himself at all, because what he's doing could save humanity, and he'll die trying. Hopefully only figuratively. Because as we know, the hero never does walk alone. The path, though it may seem lonesome, have been walked by many brave souls. And I feel that Campbell really illustrates this the best. This book, The Power of Myth, has a super quote at the beginning of the hero's adventure. And I'm cutting it slightly short here and starting. We have not even to risk the adventure alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. We have only to follow the thread of the hero path. And where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a god. And where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. And where we had thought to travel outward, we will come to the center of our own existence. And where we had thought to be alone, we will be with all the world. So I think that's a great ending. We're going to revisit this topic a few more times, I'm sure. And especially inside the Real Storyteller Lab. And I'm getting ready to do another round of that this year. And I would love to invite you to find out more. And the best way to do that right now is to click the link below and get on the early interest list. And I hope to see you either in the lab or on this channel.